November last year, I think it was, in 2016, I was with like my marketing manager, Biju, and we were talking about getting some, inspiration, because I think we looked up an architect, like a black architect, who was doing some work in London, like a prestige project. I think it was the Serpentine or something. And it was like such a pleasant surprise. And I thought, oh, let's contact him and we'll get some, some inspiration, some tips on how to be successful. And then just through some research, we saw that there was a real low representation of successful black architects, who had reached the top of the architectural game. And it was so disheartening, I was really upset, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it, and these sort of things. And I was really distraught, and it panged my heart. So I said, oh, okay, I don't know, I can't remember quite how one thing led to another, but anyway, it ended up me contacting someone at RIBA and then someone at Stephen Lawrence, like these places are my connections, and then NLA and then George Padmore and all these other institutes to say, hey, we want to put on an exhibition, or we want to do something like to celebrate successful black architects, because through our research, I think we found about 10 across the world, and who had produced some excellent work that we would look at. And from my perspective, I just remember growing up and then going to university and not seeing many, black role models. And it's tough, because you want to aspire to be something, you want to aspire to be someone, but if you can't see a representation of that out there in the world, it's very difficult to conjure that up. And I think that, I was always very confident in my work and in my sort of artistry and my approach. And that's because I grew up on like building sites and, my history and my family, etc. And I was always very confident, but not everyone is like that, And I think that for the younger generation, it's important to put as many faces out there of successful black and ethnic minority architects, so that they can see that they can be successful. RIBA and all these other institutes, they're always trying to break down barriers of racial, racial segregation, and I think it's a wonderful way to help push that. I mean, obviously, I could have gone and said to RIBA or wherever, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that. But I wasn't really driven to do that, to say that. I was driven to do something because I can, because I knew I could. So, I just thought it would be wonderful. We'll speak to all of these architects, we'll get some of their work, we'll put it on display at these amazing institutes, and we will show all these young architectural students who might come from an ethnic minority background, that they can be successful too. And I just thought that was just a wonderful thing. And so I've just been driven to produce this, and it's been an excellent experience because I've learned so much as well. I've spoken to some really highly regarded architects, and it has helped sort of shape my view on architecture. And so I guess I did get to have my my hints and tips conversation, and it's just really exciting. And I just hope that it is a work of art that will be useful for the future as well. We're going to submit it to the Black Cultural Archive, so they can always use the material in the future to have other exhibitions.
I know you mentioned it a little bit, but what are your hopes for the exhibition in terms of the long term and the goal in your vision?
I think the hopes for the exhibition is to, showcase all of these wonderful Black architects from across the world, and to really, you know, throw in a ball of diversity into the industry. That's what I'm hoping for, because this is what needs to be done. You know, we need to show our industry that, you know, you can be anyone. You could be a male, female, you know, you could have any religion, any culture, any heritage, and you can be successful as an architect. And that's really what I want. I want to just showcase the success of these people, of these wonderful architects, and I want people to be inspired by that. I want people to take that home and say, oh, I can do that too, or oh, you know, I can have a friend who's also going to be successful, who might come from a different background than me. And I want to help the industry break down that barrier.